Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's your girl Ray P. Welcome back to another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. You know I'm not alone. I'm joined by my amazing road dog, confidant, two life crew, Mr. himself, Kyron, aka Rich or K Rich, whatever you know him as. What's going on, Kyron?
What's good, Rachel? How you feeling?
I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good. How are you?
So I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's hard not to be well when sitting here able to talk TV with you and just looking at you from the aesthetic standpoint. I say this from time to time, but if you're not watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that YouTube link. Take a look at your girl Ray P. Out here shining on you hoes. Out here shining. Ray
A
P look like she
little
got something. Ray
something.
P looks right now. If you're not watching on YouTube, Ray P looks like she knows she's about to bump into a nigga that she wants to, stun on or something like that.
Oh, one of my
Not
favorite.
not on no not on no not on no pick me shit. Just on some like I just want to stun on you real quick to let you
Yeah,
know
a little
that
later.
you know what time it is. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, that's an attention. Yeah, you have an attention seeking aesthetic. Not attention seeking. That's not the right term. Um, but you will. All eyes, in the words of the great Tupac Shakur, all eyes will be on you.
That's all.
Uh, But I appreciate the intro as always. You know what it is. You know how we get down. Been doing this for a long time. As I mentioned, it's a pleasure to be here with my
Always.
girl Ray P. We are here.
We make.
We made it. I know that sounds, hey, we just talk about television, but this has felt like a marathon
Mhm.
of getting to the finale of season 6 of The
Yeah.
Shy. We are here to talk about episode 16, titled Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Directed by DeAndre Gosfield and Quincy Lanier Gosfield, written by Rashida Brady. Obviously, the show was created by Lena Waithe, and it is currently streaming on Paramount Plus. Once again, the season 6 finale. Synopsis of the episode: Thanksgiving marks a time for reunions and revelations as families gather to celebrate. Ray P,
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw in the "what the fuck are we doing" portion this week. I
Mhm.
figure we just talk about some of the big topics
Yeah.
and get in, get out. That's an OG's classic. Shout out to Memphis Bleak.
For sure.
Keep telling y'all I was a rock boy growing up. But let me ask you something as we get into this episode. Um, how did you feel about the reveal at the beginning of the episode? I want to get your thoughts on
Um, I was shocked. I appreciate like the time lapse situation that happened, but I was shocked by quite a bit of the episode, and I'm assuming you're talking about with the death of Duda.
that.
Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Did
I
I
was.
say? Well, I'm sorry. Spoilers and explicit content.
Uh,
You
no,
already. It's already too late now, but whatever.
yeah, y'all got it. Y'all will watch
Yeah,
it. Y'all seen it.
yeah.
Um,
And it's not really a spoiler because they open the episode with it. It's not like it's at the end of
exactly,
the episode or some shit. So you know
exactly.
right away what's going on.
I was shocked. I think we talked about it either last week or the week before. I honestly was not expecting his death this season. Even though it was sort of teased, dare I say, or we knew someone wouldn't make it to the end. However, he's been the driving force, quote unquote, behind so much of this season. And I figured if he died, it would be by bullet or some sort of violent act. However, I was not expecting Nuck to be the shooter.
Okay, let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Who deserved to take that shot? There's a lot. There's a list of people.
There's a list, which makes sense. I understand Nuck getting his get back
I think I
1000%.
called it last week after
Yeah.
the ass whooping. I'm
Yeah.
like, I think Nutt's gonna be the one to do this.
Yeah, you did. You did. But I wasn't expecting it. I even if
Right.
he was the shooter, a finale type thing, a series finale. he's a
Yeah.
shooter, and now I'm on top. Into here, cut our losses. Which we'll see next season.
Which we will see next season.
We'll see. Honestly though, if not Nuck, in the lowest of keys, I didn't want Alicia to be the one to take the shot. I didn't want her to have that satisfaction for whatever reason, just because she
Mhm.
put her son in harm's way. I wasn't, and I'm still not really rooting for her. Um, Knew it wouldn't be Bianca. There's a part of me that wanted it to be Bakari, but also don't want to traumatize him any further, even though he does
Right.
have bodies on him already. But we see him actively trying to make a change. So maybe I was hoping that he didn't. I even thought maybe Trig might say fuck it and get his lick back. We see Trig has
That's
cut his hair. He's back looking like Luke James.
yeah, yeah.
uh
That was my choice, Trig.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, what about you? Obviously, you just said Trig, but
Yeah, Trig was the one. As far as my thoughts in regard to knowing what happened at the beginning,
mm-hmm,
that's a mixed bag, right? So it can go either way with me. I can appreciate it when it's done right.
mm-hmm.
Did you ever see The Gentleman, the film? Not
No,
the show on Netflix, but the actual film it was based on, the
no.
Guy Ritchie movie. So a lot of movies do this, but The Gentleman is one of the last movies I saw or recently have seen that did it, where they open the movie with an event,
Mm-hmm,
so you know something happens, but you don't. They did it in a way where you don't know exactly what you assume, but you're not 100% sure because it wasn't shown.
mm-hmm.
But it's, you get enough information to gather, like, this happened, and maybe there's a twist, maybe there's not. I would have preferred it to be that way,
Okay.
to take away even if it's, and they had Bianca in the shot, so you would have to take Bianca out of the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just show a body underneath the sheet and we don't see the reveal of who it is,
Yeah.
I like things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me know that somebody got dropped, but
Yeah,
let's work through the episode to see who it is. To know it was Duda right away, um, I don't know. It just kind of it turned into a who done it.
mm-hmm.
Like, we know what happened. Now let's see how it happened. My issue is the Shy hasn't proven to have good enough writing this season to pull something like that off.
Yeah,
I think it helps your case if you're in the writing room to kind of save that reveal of who it is, until the end and build a little bit more suspense. And I'm big on certain characters deserve a rightful death.
mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's surprised that Duda died.
Yeah,
I would have liked it to be a little bit different. I just feel like it wasn't necessarily like he was too important of a character. Some would argue, as you mentioned earlier, Rachel, the central figure of the show, the identity of the show for the past few seasons.
yeah,
A lot of people would say that without the character of Duda, the show really would have fallen off the wagon.
for sure.
And I kind of knew what it was when you watch I don't know if you're one of the people that skips the intro or
Mm-hmm.
skips the preview and goes right into the episode, but I like to watch like previously on the show.
Yeah.
Um, and you see all the Duda clips. So I kind of have a feeling like they're showing a lot of Duda clips.
Uh,
This feels like something's about to
kind of
happen.
foreboding.
Yes, foreboding. I think we talked, in the first episode, or first couple episodes of the second part, the tag for the season was "Who Will Reign."
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of set it up to like one of these people have to go. It would have been a little bit silly if they both stayed going into season 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think it confirmed, even though it hasn't been announced. I think this move confirms that season 7 will probably be the final season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really hope they don't stretch it out past that, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just, not a shocker that Duda died. I just wish it would have been a little bit more cinematic.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, because you mentioned the Who Will Reign, dare I say, campaign. Is Alicia really going to reign? She didn't pull the trigger, and she wasn't in line for the throne in the first place.
And that's the thing. It's, once again, the show at this point is in spite of itself.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. You can. I've seen enough television to know when a show just ran out of stuff and they're
Yeah.
just throwing shit at the wall and trying to see what sticks.
Got it.
Like we don't need that. Like you said, she's not necessarily in the position to do so. Like you're not in these streets like that. It's
Right.
like anybody else. You can't just come in um, and expect for some shit to shake. Did you watch this last episode of Ghost that came
Yeah.
out on
Yeah.
yes?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the scene between Lamont Tate
Mm-hmm.
and Michael Ealy's characters? He
Mm-hmm.
told the story about his mom. He had a friend, and one day he got up and went in the fridge and got something to drink, and my mom kicked him out. Kind of like he forgot that he was a guest,
Yeah.
and that's what Alicia is in the world of the Shy. Not
Exactly.
necessarily to the city, but the
Mhm.
world, the small ass outside that we always talk about.
Yeah.
You are still a guest. You don't just have the rightful heir, or even make a House of the Dragon reference.
Mm,
You're not the rightful heir
for
to
sure.
this throne.
Now she's
So
trying
it
to
does seem a little bit forced. You said what?
now she's trying to usurp.
You're trying to usurp. And it's not her. It's not Alicia's fault per se. It's more so the way the show was set.
Exactly.
She's
Exactly.
never really seemed, and this isn't a Lynn Whitfield thing because she's incredible. She never felt like a worthy opponent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was more interested in his beef with Trig and even
Yeah.
Bakari, and what we ended up getting with Nuck. That always felt a little bit more real.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. So we're at Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
Day, 8 hours earlier from
Hold on. Let me
Duda.
pause you
Yeah.
before you really get into it. There was a scene, because I guess since we started with Duda, there was a scene where he put the gun in his own
Mm-hmm.
mouth or to his own head. What did
Yep.
you think about that? I didn't think that we knew he was paranoid. We knew that he had enemies, this, that, and the third, and people were after him. However, I didn't think that he was to the brink of suicidal thoughts or suicide ideation.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rachel. I didn't think that he was ready to unalive himself,
Okay.
based off what we got in this season. Yes, paranoid. Yes, we have the scene at his birthday when Bianca comes through. I'm not in the mood for celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a, of course, it was to symbolize where Duda was in his life. Like he's just racked up so many enemies that you don't even know which way to turn.
Yeah.
Which is a territory where only a few people probably know about. Like it's one thing to have some people that don't fuck with you, but
Yeah.
literally, they even said it in that opening scene. Like the list was so long that our suspect list could go anywhere because he
Yeah.
had enemies all throughout the city.
Mm-hmm.
He just never struck me as the type that was at that point. I'm not saying that
Right.
we're all above it, but they usually are signs where you're like, all right, somebody's at their wits end. He was still on top.
Right.
He was still making moves, and that's once again, I promise I don't want to like beat the dead horse. Cheap riding. You're
Yeah.
gonna show us that. Give us a little bit more in the context that makes us not have this discussion that we're having right now. I feel like,
Yeah.
oh, where'd that come from? Um, and I think once again, it was their way of just subtly, not even subtly showing, being very heavy-handed with it, that Duda's time has come to an end.
Yeah.
Just like anything else in life, when things are about to go south. And I think that was them just saying, even though we had already seen the body, is getting us into the mind of his character. Like, even if he wasn't going to die like that, he was going to die a different way at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
And I think that was their way of showing. Once again, I think Duda deserved just a tad bit better
Yeah.
from a character standpoint, but it is what it is.
It is.
That was a very interesting scene that I thought as well. Because he was, yeah, that was the first scene we actually saw Duda this episode, other
Right.
than him laying out on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up, he was with Bianca and all that stuff. But oh, a lot of throwaway stuff, and I say throwaway in the sense of cool, like you gave us a little bit more depth in these storylines, but I don't really necessarily want to dive fully into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of explain why, or we'll explain why at the end of this episode, why some of these storylines won't get a lot of tick with us,
Yeah.
or get a lot of clock with us. But we'll go ahead and just start. As we mentioned, it's Thanksgiving Day, so let's bounce around the households. Let's
Okay.
let's get our coats, Ray P. Let's get in the car and let's go. Let's go see these. Let's go see these people, man. Bring your Tupperware, get these to go plates, and let's go house to house. We have Nina and LaPortia, in which we kind of open the show.
Say, let's start.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get this out the way. you know the first house to hit up. But Nina and LaPortia is telling Nina to today's the day. Like, let's go ahead and announce everyone that you are going to be leaving Chicago. You come with me. Um, Nina's obviously hesitant. Neither one of us are parents, so we
Yeah.
don't know what it's like to leave grown children behind, even though they had their own lives, as LaPortia was alluding to her. Did you like the way that LaPortia was going about this whole let's leave Chicago" train?
No, and it's giving killer or a scammer. It's very bizarre. And I don't know, maybe I haven't been whisked away, but I don't like any of it, honestly.
Nah, nah. And honestly, so one of the big parts I think that they even had their own portion of the show is to emphasize Kevin not coming home.
Yeah.
You would expect Kevin to come home in a holiday episode, which he's not. He wants to stay in LA with his friends. LaPortia reminded her, which I can understand. At that age, I wanted to be around my friends too. LA to
Yeah,
Chicago ain't cheap as far as getting home.
for
And I'm
sure.
sure Kevin has established his own life. Sometimes when you're that age, you don't want to necessarily go back to your roots or kind of get back into old habits or whatever the case may be. So, not to mention the whole Maisha situation. Um, we'll just mention that because that was really her only moments in the episode talking about her and Kevin. Kevin's been a little bit cryptic. I think he's seeing someone. This is something I need to do for myself as far as breaking up. I don't know how they plan on. Maybe that was the breakup on screen because we're not going to get Kevin. I don't think he's coming back.
Right. I think that they were leaving the door open, and I thought that, and I think you said it on a few episodes ago, that it felt like the way that they kept him in conversation, they kept him alive in conversation, was very much reminiscent um
Ella,
of Ella in
run the
that show,
world.
Run the World. I
Yeah,
don't know what my mind is. Ella in Run, I was gonna say that show, that
your mind, your
show.
mind on this, your mind on this evening.
Anywho, so I think that this was their way of closing that door that had been left open, because why mention it? You know what I'm saying? Because the
Yeah,
reality is that, if anything, Thanksgiving to me, complete opposite, is what you try to get home to,
yeah,
especially if you got a couple dollars. Kevin moved out to LA for this opportunity, unless they're going to make it seem like next season, for whatever reason, maybe he couldn't film, he was filming something else, but next season we learned that everything in LA, all that was glitter and wasn't gold. That would be the only thing. Tricky,
I think. I
wishful thinking. I
think Kevin up out of here. Kevin
I
ain't coming
I
back to
think Kevin's about.
Kevin ain't coming back to the season to the series finale.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well,
One of
shout out
those
to
Michael
that
one of those Michael Scott comes back to the office for the last episode
for
type of
the last
situations. That's
episode.
what that
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Shout out to Maisha again with the pictures. I thought that they were going to be more significant, other than just cool shots, specifically of Bakari. Um,
That's
I,
just their cinematography.
huh?
Go ahead. That's just them trying to add some cinematography in the show. That whole story, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I hate the fact that my comments for a lot of stuff in this episode or whatever, but
yeah.
so
I was disappointed because I wanted them shots to mean something other than just being cool. And shout out to Maisha, but girl, you have to earn a living. Like,
yeah,
I
at some point,
understand
right?
doing things for the enjoyment. I understand. I understand being young and trying to find your way. Howsoever, like, okay, you got to get on the ball. You've got to do something. Something has to stick. But I don't know. Maybe that's the age gap gripe. You know. But
It
what?
could it could be. As far as the news of announcing when Nina said she's going, obviously Keisha had some pushback, a
Mhm.
few questions about what's going on. Personally, if I'm Keisha, if I'm one of the kids, like, who is this rando that you about to live in this Winnebago with? Like, that doesn't even sound.
It doesn't even sound appealing.
Yeah, she said it doesn't. I think the term was that doesn't sound like you, and Nina said that's exactly why I'm doing it, which
Mhm.
is cool. But even if it ain't got to be you, it don't even sound appealing. Like, I don't even understand why you would want to do this. You want to live in a Winnebago and just travel around, like with this rant, like this woman that broke up your relationship, not broke up because
But
she takes
essentially,
Winnebago. essentially, and that you probably don't even really know like that. Like
Yeah,
you're just
it
moving on.
sounds
She knocked on your door in the middle of the night and came through, watched a couple movies with you, and now you picking up and leaving.
all I can hear is RP Senior in the background. Are you that love
Gotta be.
starved?
Mama gotta have a life too, Jody.
That's what it's given. It's given. Mama gotta have a life too. Which yes, you do. Your children are grown, but also side eye like this is dangerous. You don't really know that lady like that. And candidly, I
And
guess
you,
you really know anybody, but absolutely not.
and and not only that, but you don't have a central location. Like you literally could be anywhere at any moment. If I don't talk to you, or
Hmm.
if there's a week or so where I don't speak to you, I have no idea where you are. If
Yeah,
something were to happen, I can't even tell anybody. I can just tell you their last known location.
right.
This is where I know she was last time I spoke to her, but they could be anywhere at this point because they in this random ass Winnebago, and I don't even know the chick's name that she with. I know her name, but Portia, I don't know nothing else about
She gonna
her.
have to do
It just, yeah,
constant
you got
location sharing. But who has
constant. Like
to?
keep that, you keeping that shit on shared
Yeah.
location.
And
Absolutely.
one of the questions was, and shout out to Lene, like, what about me? She ain't living on campus. I'm in this house, ma.
Yeah. What did you think about Jamal being the one to step up and say, "I'll take care of it"? I know we know that's her brother,
I mean, he got to get out that halfway house so he can fuck Lala.
so he gonna take over. Is he gonna take over the crib?
That was my understanding. Cause
Makes sense because nobody. There's no talks about selling it.
right, you want to keep it, you want it to still be here. I'll make sure somebody looks in on you. Basically, is what she was saying.
That's what Jamal was like. Shit, look in. I'll move in.
I
How
will
about
move
that?
in. Get me out of this halfway house. I got a job at Smokies.
We can make some shit shake. We gonna make some shit. What does LaPortia do?
I don't know. We don't know anything about this lady. I have no idea.
All right, man. What? All right,
Maybe she's a
cool.
truck
Whatever.
driver.
Nah, 'cause she got that Winnebago. You ain't driving the truck and the Winnebago.
I
I'm
don't know.
feeling like it's a musician. She's on the road. Like I don't know. I don't. Whatever. Hippie. Who knows? What did
Bless.
you think about Keisha and Nina's moment?
I thought it was a good grown daughter, mother daughter conversation.
Yeah, it was
Um,
one of the better parts of the episode.
it was one of the better parts. Mothers know, or good mothers know. Speaking of pregnancies, we talked about ghosts earlier in regards to Monet. She didn't know that Diana was pregnant, but Nina immediately knew that Keisha was pregnant. I liked that because it spoke to their closeness, despite there being some distance and Nina being somewhere between a helicopter parent and MIA at the same time. It was very weird because she was overbearing, but also in her own world. When she wasn't focused on them, she was doing the fuck out of her thing.
Yeah, that's
So
real.
there's that. But I liked it because Keisha has shown growth over the years. Like, I'm grown.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Before we go to our next house,
Yeah.
before we leave Nina's and go to our next house, let's make a couple pit stops. You know, they need some things on the way. Let's
Mhm.
talk about some characters. Let's talk about Brittany and Bakari and Lene, for that
Yeah.
matter. Lene, and I want to get your opinion on this. In theory, Lene is doing the right thing. As a viewer, Lene was pissing me off, pushing this. You need to speak to Brittany Ankle. You need to speak to Brittany Ankle.
Hmm.
Like, okay, I get you trying to help, especially as a partner, my girlfriend, and all of that. You don't want to see me stressed out. You don't want to see me with any kind of issues hanging over my head or any kind of stress. But my nigga, let this shit chill. Let me do this on my own time. Like, stop pressing this shit on me because it's never gonna go that way if I don't want it. If this ain't something minor. Like you was hired to spy on
Yeah.
me and dressed it up as something else. Once again, Lene, I appreciate you. You're doing the girlfriend thing and all that, but stop pushing this angle. And then we actually get the Brittany and Bakari scene, which in my opinion was underwhelming. It's kind of exactly how I thought it was going to go. Did you
Mm-hmm.
have any thoughts, or what would you think about someone or your partner or whoever kind of railroading you into having a conversation with someone you're not ready to have a conversation with?
So consider this is 37 eyes and not 19 eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
19, nigga, you got to say something. You got to do it. There's a different urgency um that comes with a lack of maturity.
yeah.
So I'm a give it a little bit to that. Um and I understand this my nigga, like we got to see what's going on. I got your back. Clearly she doesn't. I'm riding for you. This is my the only way at 19 I can show up for you the way that I can is by having your back and encouraging you to stand up for yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Um in regards to the Brittany and Bakari situation, I did think it was underwhelming. I thought it would be a much bigger conversation, but that too is what happens when you have a conversation that you're not ready to have. When it's
Right.
pushed on you, when the conversation doesn't happen pretty much organically, you know, or in your time when you've processed your thoughts enough to be able to say everything that you need to say. As somebody who I was gonna say forgives and doesn't forget. I get it. Is this the end of Brittany, or does she spend all of season 7 trying to make it up to Bakari? You know?
That would she now she's coming back. She's coming back.
Mm.
She'll be back in season 7 for sure. That's
But that's what
that relationship will be rebuilt by the time the series is over.
okay.
Don't ask me why. I just will. They just will. They're not gonna, especially with them being real life siblings, that they'll keep her in the show.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
the, like I said earlier, with Duda no longer being around, they're going to need some other storylines to go with. Even though I have complained about too many storylines in
Yeah.
this show, but I think that's one they will focus on.
They did a job as
Right, yeah, she's gonna get a job at Smokies too.
it.
Uh, Ray P,
Yeah.
there was a moment in this episode where I thought of you right away. Thought of you right away.
What?
Zay and Kenya in the car.
Do you kill people?
Do you kill people for doing it? Do you have your gun right now? Can I see it? I'm like, boy.
Oh, young Ray. Why do good girl?
Shout out to DMX.
Shout out to hey.
Oh, nothing really to add to that scene. It is whatever. That scene is exactly the same scene except for different settings that they've been having all season with Zay and Kenya. There's no depth or no substance to it. We know they fuck with each other, but I have no idea. Are they together? Are they still
Did they
talking?
get out of the car?
Do they get out of the car? Like production in Chicago must be tough. The filming locations must be tough because they are in church or they in that car, and that's
Baby.
it. Once again, we didn't learn anything, so I don't think there's anything to really discuss. But me knowing Rachel as well as I know her, I just thought about young Rach.
So intrigued.
Yeah, so intrigued about as the famous meme says, where the hood niggas at?
Where the hood niggas at? So
Uh,
intrigued by how the other half lives. No.
yeah, so intrigued. The
Stupid.
last thing is before we continue on our house tour for Thanksgiving, Pastor Zeke is working on his sermon, and he gets a visit by an old associate pastor,
Yeah.
whoever was Papa before Papa stepped into that role. I believe his name is Charles, played by Rotimi.
Who I believe
Haven't
is
seen
from Chicago.
I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody I feel is from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen Rotimi in a while.
Yeah.
I know he makes music and all that, but as far as the screen goes, I haven't seen him in a while. Probably since Coming to America, the sequel, which I would like to erase that from my brain. But surprisingly or unsurprisingly enough, Charles has been around long enough to know where the bodies are.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he got a little bit too big for his britches. felt he could do what Pastor Zeke does, start his own church, realize it's not as easy as that, and now he's trying to come home.
Yeah.
When Pastor Zeke stunts on him and kind of lets him know, first of all, only my friends call me that, and that spot's been taken, he immediately goes to the extortion route. And maybe not extortion, maybe blackmail. It's not fully
Yeah.
extortion, but house Sarah, which lets me know that maybe there's something else going on besides what they've been. I don't know. It
How
was
did
weird
that
because
feel,
they.
Sarah?
All right, so here's my thing. I agree based off of Charles' appearance.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is when they were by themselves in closed doors with nothing to hide. Sarah said, "We haven't done anything yet, or we haven't done anything." Which it would be weird to lie about that with each other, with no one else around. So, what is it to Sarah that Charles knows that made him like? He immediately went to like, "Are you threatening me?" Which is, listen, Rachel. There's something about niggas who don't know how to answer questions
Mm-hmm.
that really bothers me.
Yeah.
And Pastor Zeke's one of them niggas. Like as soon as he asked about Sarah, this nigga literally asked, "Are you threatening me?" Hey,
Mm-hmm.
bro, keep it cool, my nigga. Stop showing your hand. So that nigga ride out.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that because I have a couple thoughts. So, number I'm even gonna do this in numerical order, just the way my mind is working.
All
In
right.
regards to Sarah, now, to your point, in close quarters, we didn't do anything. If you speak white girl, that could mean anything. Maybe maybe you did a little something something, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually fuck. There's this pastor who on Twitter who opened my mind to soaking, which is a practice particularly in Mormon culture where in order to not have sex, what happens is the male and female will insert himself. However, he won't pump. So he is just soaking. And there are elements where sometimes there is somebody who jumps on the bed or is moving the bed. So the two who are actually engaged are not actually engaged in the act of sex. So they didn't do anything, but there was insertion. But was there actual copulation? Tricky. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. We didn't do anything. We didn't have sex. We didn't
I
do anything.
immediately, I immediately, I immediately thought of the Kendrick Lamar song called "Lust,"
Uh-huh.
and there's a moment in the hook. I can't sing, but am I asking too much? And he says, "Let me put the head in," and that's what I thought about right
By all
there. Every
means.
nigga has had a "let me put the tip in" moment, just
Mm,
the tip, just a little bit,
yeah.
just trying
Damn,
to see what
baby,
it
like I
feel
just
like a little
went
bit.
in,
You
did.
feel me? Just a little bit. I ain't trying to do too much. I'm trying to see what that thing feel like. I promise I'm gonna take it out. I
Yeah,
promise I'm gonna take it out.
and you never do. But whatever. So there's that. So obviously something clearly did happen. Because I don't think that the knowledge of knowing that we have feelings for each other and there's just sexual tension is enough to be blackmailed over because niggas already know that clearly. So
Yeah,
I wasn't moved by that. However, I was so put off by this scene because I just would like somebody in the church to be in right standing. My God, like y'all know I'm churchy if you've listened for a long time. And I know that niggas be crooked. I I am not disagreeing with that at all. However, I would have rather Rotimi or Charles come back and it just be an earnest heart for a servant, not another person looking to get over, another person looking to get his palms greased, this, that, and the third. Like, no, I don't want Pastor Zeke, which what do other people call you? Reverend, if only your friends
Yeah.
call you Pastor Zeke. That's the only way I've heard you referred to this entire season. I don't get it, but whatever.
Seek
Um,
the freak.
Zeke the free, exactly. Freaky ass nigga need to stay his ass inside. But talk to me after. Um, I just I would have I don't want to see him taking advantage of another person like Papa. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want Papa to become Charles. And maybe that's what it was. So I don't want to see that plight for him. I don't want that to be his ending. But I was hoping that when we saw him and he came back and wants his old job back, wants his position, you're obviously looking for a payday. You're obviously looking to be in on some shit because you know Zeke and you know he be on some shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I was disappointed because even Pastor Jackson, even he took the money from Duda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Lena Wake's character. It wasn't Duda, it was her character. I
Yeah.
don't remember when she was running for office or whatever. Um, so I was disappointed because I just want somebody to have, if you're gonna represent the church, like don't nobody got no moral fabric, no moral high ground. Like ain't nobody has integrity. Nobody. A 19-year-old,
It is.
only Papa. That's it.
And he
I
had it down the wrong. He had it down the wrong path too.
Yeah, I really 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 hated that. But
Yeah,
whatever.
and like you said, Rachel, it'd be one thing if he was trying to just get back in the good grace and spread the word. But
Yeah,
Pastor Zeke said, "Welcome back," and that nigga said, "That's what I thought." Like that's what nigga. That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm back. So which lets me know he has all ill intentions.
exactly.
He know where that
Exactly.
bread at. He knows numbers are running through. However, I'm very curious to see how that works with Duda no longer being around. Who's going to take that spot? Because I'm sure Pastor Zeke will go searching for someone else to
It'll be
um,
not.
launder that money, all that. Yeah, I'm sure Nuck knows about it. Nuck
Hmm.
ain't, yeah, Nuck ain't playing no games. We'll talk about Nuck here shortly.
Yeah.
But since we were talking about Papa, let's talk about him a little bit more. Um, he's opening up service, asking the congregation to give abundantly. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny when you see Jake and Trig, like, nigga, fuck that, pass the plate.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
but really, if we go to Trig's house for Thanksgiving, Papa and his mom are over there with Fatima, Jake, Gemma, and Trig, of
Yeah.
course. Papa's leading the prayer, and then there's a moment to where it looks like a meal is finished, and Papa says he's going to go to Pastor Zeke's.
Hated it.
Let's talk about it, Rachel.
Hmm.
Um, I tried to look at it from the sense of being a 19-year-old, 18, 19, whatever, but even then I couldn't get there.
Hmm.
Like, this is your mom's first, probably major holiday.
Yeah. Without your
Not
dad.
just Thanksgiving, but without your dad, like, and you know how she feels about Pastor Zeke. It's not like you going to see your friends or
Yeah.
I'm going to Emmett's because they invited me. I'm specifically going to somebody that I know you don't like on a day that I know is very painful for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's nothing you're getting at Pastor Zeke's that's going to be fulfilling enough to leave your mom at one of
Yeah.
her lowest moments. And I
Yeah.
just thought that was just crazy. And I don't know where that came from Papa. I don't know why he's so pressed on Pastor Zeke. Well, I know why he is, especially being that age. But what did you think overall of this whole scenario?
I hated it for all of the reasons that you just said. And let's not remember, and I don't know if the other brothers were at the table, but Papa's the oldest. He's not an only child, you know.
Right, right.
So we were talking about manhood and stepping up and this and the third. I appreciate you wanting to glean from who you think has your best interest, despite wisdom and just outside knowledge or fourth wall knowledge, letting us know that Pastor Zeke does not. I was disappointed because what are you going over there for? Not just from a Papa aspect, but Papa, Jake, Gemma. There's no reason for y'all to go over here on Thanksgiving.
None whatsoever.
It was so nonsensical, and I don't know in what realm you would even be invited. Papa, maybe since I've taken you under my wing, this, that, and the third. But for Tatiana to invite Jake, especially to what it for or not what it's supposed to be, but for Thanksgiving of all things, and we know that Joe Osteen or whoever, Heaven
Hmm.
Hill is coming. So this is an important Thanksgiving, something that is opportunal or opportunistic for us all. Why would you be bringing these random children to Thanksgiving?
Random children. And if I'm Papa, all right, I'm putting myself in Papa's shoes. One of my best friends, I know, is hitting the first lady.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the ride, my nigga. I'll catch you over. I'll take a lift.
All right.
I'll figure something out. You're not coming over here on that. Like, we're not about
There's
to do that.
no reason. There's
And
no reason.
you and your girl here, y'all got smoke, and you got smoke because of this woman. So why would I even bring that drama over here?
It doesn't make sense. And this is beyond being 19. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah, it's just not like you said it perfectly. It's nonsensical. It just doesn't make sense. There's no scenario. I'm one of those people where I don't have to agree with you,
Mm-hmm.
but if you could show me how you got there, like if you show me how you got your answer, all right, I can understand. I can
Yeah.
understand you got there. I still don't agree, but I see how you did it. There's nothing about that scenario where I understand why any of this made sense. From the invitation from Tatiana, from Zeke not pushing back hard enough on some, because
Mm-hmm.
nigga, if I'm past nigga, what the fuck? Hell nah. This nigga would not. This nigga show up. This nigga show up on my doorstep. I promise I'm shooting,
Period.
slapping him, doing something.
Yep.
Hyperbole, y'all. But my point is, I'm putting my foot down. Like this nigga, this young nigga
Come on.
that you out here,
Child.
like this child that's out here, dicking down my wife, is not about to sit at Thanksgiving table with the most important America's pastor, as they say in the show.
It
This
makes
is not
no
about to happen.
it makes
Zero sense whatsoever.
no sense. As the adults in the room, even if the kids are on some, yeah, I want to go over there. As the adults, nigga, no, we got real shit going on.
And Rachel, you know how it is at this point of our life. Let somebody we know, let's just be going in the mall or somewhere, walking around
Mhm.
and catch somebody we know hanging out with a teenager or a young person.
Come
We
on,
what the fuck is you doing? Like,
come
what's
on,
up?
come on. I can't even imagine.
I couldn't even imagine. Like, there's nothing y'all could be talking about. There's nothing like, is that chill? And are you a mentor? Nigga, what the fuck? What is y'all doing? Like, you're weird. Being
Nothing.
very weird right now. So, did
Freaking
it make for
stay her ass inside.
freaky ass niggas need to stay their ass inside? Did
Mm,
it give entertaining television from the sense of a "Why did I get married?" dinner scene? Sure.
no.
For some people, not for me, but for some people, I'm sure it was. That's what they were going for. You can definitely tell they were looking for to cook up the drama. It just didn't make sense because why are y'all here? None of it made. When you walk in a room and your real nigga senses go off and you look like, something don't look right. Something about this equation just ain't adding up. Nothing about it. The whole dinner party looked weird.
It
From
didn't. It didn't add anything.
Didn't add anything at all. And like you said,
Mm,
it's you knew, being the adult in the room, knowing how this works, you knew that there was nothing but tension that was going to come from this.
yeah.
It's too messy of a table.
Yeah.
Too messy of a table. And it's one thing, and Pastor Zeke, you trying, and that's what's even more crazy. You're trying to impress this pastor. Like, keep it simple, bro.
It should have
Keep it
been
simple.
rules like, okay, only immediate family and these people. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't make any sense whatsoever.
I
Um,
do, I do feel Jake though. I just want to say, nigga, don't offer no ride when you ain't driving.
that part.
Straight up,
That
Jim.
part.
Like, I don't like popping my dog, but if you ain't driving, like, don't offer no ride on my behalf. I don't play that shit.
Yeah.
Um, what else did we see in that house? Obviously the conversation just talking about why are you so rich and your congregation's poor.
Mm-hmm.
America's pastor and Pastor Zeke going back and forth about that. And then Tatiana said something to Jake about it, something not being so simple. Because I think Jake made the comment, so if I think I'm rich, I'm rich. Tatiana said it's not that simple. And Jake, once again, young nigga shit, I wouldn't even talk to you. Don't
If
disrespect my
you
wife in my
and her
house.
is beefing, why you even going?
Exactly. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. There's no need for us to even try to make sense of the Rachel because it doesn't. It won't.
Even
One
on
plus one is going to equal three.
I would have been like, hey, I ain't gonna come. It just made no sense for them to be
Yeah,
there. That's
yeah, and
irritating.
even if I'm dropping Papa off, like, bro, can this nigga with all these cars and luxury shit, I'm sure he can get you a ride back.
That part.
I'll holler at you.
That
And
part.
I'm not bringing Gemma. I don't care what kind of status me and Gemma in. I'm not bringing you in here too, knowing I'm fucking this lady.
Not at all. Not
Yeah,
at all.
I'm not doing none of it. It's just too
Not at
hot. Too hot. I will say I did laugh when Jake's told the white pastor, "I'll be seeing you on TV begging for money." Um, that was just comedy for me
no
because I
filter.
love no filter at all. Just don't care. Um, obviously, Sarah says she's trying to support the messengers of God. Tatiana says, "I bet you do." Leads on to this whole thing. The pastor has this look on his face, like, I know you ain't. I know
Yeah.
you ain't letting this nigga. And then obviously you want to stay for some sweet potato pie. I prefer pumpkin. Yeah, get up out. You already know what it is. Just a silly ass scene.
Yeah. For sure.
Um, where else do we need to travel to for this Thanksgiving? I guess we need to go holler at.
Tiff.
Yeah, we need to go holler at Tiff and Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, real quick before we even do that, we called it, Rachel. You called it, actually. You were the first person to say it.
Oh,
As soon as date night happened and they got home, Keisha said, "Be careful." What was that, episode 1 of this season?
Yeah.
Episode 2?
Two,
And you
maybe.
said it. You said it.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be pregnant. And here we are. Pregnancy test comes back positive, Rachel.
Yeah.
You do it. You've done it once again.
I be knowing.
Emmett is about to have another child.
Crazy.
Gleeful. You know, miracles are supposed to be a surprise. Keisha obviously is on some, like, my nigga, we could have got blown up yesterday. I don't know if my body's at the stress levels to where we need to be bringing in a child into this world.
Bruh. Let me tell you why Emmett is happy.
Oh, I know why Emmett's happy. Oh, I know why Emmett's happy. And it's got to do with the nigga called Nuck. Yes. 1,000%.
Big Daddy ain't the only Big Daddy in the house.
And once we talk about the end of this episode, Emmett really got to.
Oh, for sure.
Emmett really got to worry because
for sure.
Nuck. I almost called that nigga what she be calling him about. Fucked up. Nuck,
Big Daddy.
Nuck did some shit. Nuck did some shit that Emmett will never be able to top.
Yeah.
No matter how hard Emmett tries, Emmett will never be able to provide that sense of safety and security that Nuck did in that moment. You see how quick she let him in the house?
Come on, baby.
She went from you can't just be showing up anytime you want to, like, come on in, hurry up. We'll talk about it, like I said, once we get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I just thought it was the idea of raising a child. I will say this, and it's very cheap and not really anything to talk about. They did put in a nugget of new school versus old school, traditional values versus, newer ideals when it comes to certain things. I just thought it was an interesting nugget for everybody out there. Just be mindful of who you're having a child with. Make sure you understand how you're going to raise your child, what kind of environment that you believe in, all of that kind of good stuff, because that does matter.
It does.
In regards to anything. It doesn't have to do with what they talk about in this episode. Just one of those, like, making a kid is so much bigger than having a baby. Like, it's just a lot more that goes into it that people don't even think about. Even say with marriages, relationships, you don't even think about it until that issue's there. So maybe, ask a little bit of preliminary questions before you go down that path. But let's go ahead and go to tips.
Let's get to tips. And I just want to say that is so important. It's a conversation or a dialogue that I've been having even with my own self at 37. Like, bitch, you done made it this far.
Same. Listen,
don't slip up on no bullshit, as I have affinity for bullshit.
Listen, tell myself all the time. That's my number one line. Like, I've come this far without, like, I'm not just about to.
Yeah.
Now I'm not just gonna get reckless today.
For sure.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Tips. My favorite house.
Yes.
Thanksgiving, by the way.
It's the best.
Say that for last.
I like that Darnell has become like the father of many nations. of the group. He is like the group dad, which is dope considering he was absentee for most of Emmett's life. And even when we met Darnell, he didn't seem to have it together. He didn't seem to have like this fatherly wisdom. He just was an old nigga. And shout out to Insecure, that's his niggas too.
Just
Which
all grown up.
I appreciate, Shout out to frying turkeys. Another little continuity issue, Damien had the fire extinguisher, and he and Darnell tell a story about the past, which didn't make any sense because I thought you barely spent time with this nigga. Like, did you really
Yeah,
live with that nigga? And that's just a story you told, or what?
yeah,
Because y'all got a
yeah,
lot of backstory. Y'all got a lot of history to have also been absent from his life as well.
yeah. It sounds like they got more than him and Emmett.
For sure. They do. Emmett don't
Yeah,
have no Thanksgiving stories.
yeah. He don't got none of that. And obviously, he must have just Darnell must have still been involved with Damien's mom for the
For
long
sure.
haul.
For
We know
sure.
from last week's episode that she can't stand the sight of him now, but it
Mhm.
sounds like he at least knew when to slide. You know,
Exactly.
what's up, little niggas? Saying what's up to my kid, and I'm out on, put my earpiece back in, and I'm back on the road.
That's it. Just like a
Yeah,
thief.
so like a thief in the night. You already know what it
Nigga
is.
like, nigga doing like, what's up tonight? Come on, man. You know I got a wife.
And you know that T-Tide, I ain't gonna jeopardize my life.
Come on.
Can't never jeopardize life, man. Hell, I gotta take care of home first.
Exactly.
Um, Shout out to Michael Irvin because they're not losing recipes. The fellas are learning how to deep fry the turkey.
Yeah.
There's not really a science to it. It's just kind of something that you know. You just watch
Mhm.
it, you learn over the years, which is some real shit. You see Rob say it. You see, Emmett confirm. That's something my dad told me as growing up, and they had that moment where they were just saying, I used to think having a dad around was overrated. Obviously, not having one, you think the idea of it is just something that you don't need. And then once
Yeah.
a dad actually shows up, no matter how later in your life it is, you
Yeah.
realize, like, man. And for some people, it might even cause another form of anger
Mm-hmm.
because you get it, and then you realize, like, damn, how much better could my life have been had you been around all this time? But even though I'm grateful for you being around now and teaching me some of these lessons, like, damn, my nigga, like, we really like lost some time.
Yeah.
And Darnell pretty much told them, I guess y'all was wrong. Like that overrated shit ain't, y'all wrong. Having dads are important. It is dope. Deep fried turkeys, all of those. Those are really things. Learning how to grill. Like certain things are just.
For sure.
I know. We talked about, and maybe it's a generation thing as well, Rachel. We didn't grow up with YouTube University.
Right.
Like so, if you didn't know how to do certain things, if nobody taught you, you just out of luck.
Oh, no.
There was no internet. Like, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not, in the year even the year 2000 or so. Like, internet's around, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not really Googling. Googling is not even fully a term yet. You still
Yeah.
have Yahoo, Ask Jeeves, and all these other
For
search
sure. For
engines.
sure.
To where you either know or you don't. And I just thought that was a real dope time. And like you said, shout out to Darnell. Tiff going crazy, preparing dinner. Rachel, have you ever hosted a Thanksgiving dinner?
No.
Yeah, the look on your face is like, I don't plan on doing one anytime soon.
That is too much work.
Yeah, she said never again,
Yeah.
and I believe her. They was hyped to host it, get what you asked for, because
Mm-hmm.
she was like, nah, we ain't never doing this shit again. Rob invited Tiffany's mom,
Mm-hmm.
and we have her and Alicia having a moment, going back and forth. See them kind of growing in conversation as the episode goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe looked like it was going to start off a little
Yeah.
rocky.
Yeah.
Two different people. Alicia offers her some more Merlot. I'd rather have a beer. Everything else. They have each episode this season. I promise there's been a message moment. And of course, it came with them when they were talking about the new age family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
My parents grew up and they were married for this time, and it came with some hurt, but you learn how to do this. And of course, Alicia say, they're so open and honest. That's why they all get along so well, because they're upfront about everything, which I can agree with wholeheartedly. Yeah, I don't know. It was just an interesting bond between them. Word back home is that you had a special friend, Rachel. Alicia said, "This is my new special friend."
Crazy.
Could you imagine being introduced as that by a nigga? Nigga just say, "No, this is my special friend Rachel."
Yeah. Yeah, my lady friend. Yeah. Yeah,
My,
actually. Familiar as fuck. Shit is weird. Oh, okay. Uh
oh shit.
yeah, not too much on me. But it was very weird, especially because we know them. We know that there's an age gap. They really fucking with each other, and it's very bizarre. You said it earlier, mama gotta have a life too, but I don't like this.
I don't like the. He takes really good care of me. Like all
All
the
he
extra,
is doing
like
is
I'm still your son. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit, bro.
not at
Calling
all.
her baby, like, can you not call my mama that in front of me? Because it's one thing if your mom comes in with an Alonzo, take
Hmm.
away the fact that he's your dad, but just
Yeah,
a nigga your age that seems a little bit more understanding. Nigga, we damn near peers.
that part. We are.
Child, like you ain't, yeah, like you. So you out here calling my mama baby and all that. And my mama telling me you take good care of her. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit.
None of it. I never.
Especially Thanksgiving, all that. Nah, man, that shit ain't cool. And he told her straight up, which I believe him wholeheartedly. You know, she gets bored easily.
Yeah.
She gets bored easily. I don't see it lasting. It's lasted a lot longer than I thought. I appreciate
Mhm.
the writers not putting that jacket in this episode.
Yes. Thank
Um,
you.
but other than that, it was just an odd pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Odd pairing, all in all. We see Emmett and Damien finally getting along, calling each other brothers. The half brother shit is going.
Yeah.
Um, everyone waiting to eat, which is a true Thanksgiving tradition. Like the
Mm-hmm.
food ain't never on time. Everybody hungry. Everybody waiting to eat. And then we get a moment with the shrooms, where there's
Mm-hmm.
some new drugs that are in the market, not fully legal by law, but
Yeah.
maybe a new avenue for Tiff and Rob to explore. Obviously, that's going to be something for next season because not everybody's going to be here to bear the fruit of that labor.
Mm.
Um, and then I guess we can go to, I guess,
Let me
the big
ask
event.
before you move there, what did you think of Damien not necessarily telling Emmett the full truth about Jackie Long's character?
The full truth in regards to like he wants me to steal from Smokies.
Yeah, or say this is the nigga that's in the shop. Like, I don't know what dad told you, but he's trying to get me. Like, now that we cool, I need to put niggas on notice. You know, I need you to know the truth behind what's going on. Because we saw, remember though, last week we saw Damien potentially prepared to flub the numbers. Emmett looked at him and said, I'm broke. But we don't know if Damien had done anything with the numbers yet in giving Jackie Long some money.
Anytime I think of Emmett, I always think like, what the fuck you gonna do anyway?
Fair.
That's where I am with him. What the fuck you gonna do? I'm gonna tell you for what. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. You ain't gonna protect me.
Fire that nigga.
You're not gonna be smart enough. You're not gonna be smart enough on your feet to think of a plan to get me out of it. To
Yeah.
outsmart this nigga Jackie Long. You're not gonna fire him because Darnell's not gonna let you. What the
Mm,
fuck you gonna do? Except for give me that. Keep your head up.
yeah.
Don't fuck with my books. Don't
Damn.
over. His advice was don't overpromise. I just have no faith, and we'll talk about it when we get to the ending scenes. I have no faith in Emmett when it comes to he's lost, and now I kind of know what women mean when they say once they off you, they off you. I feel about that as Emmett as a character. Like
Yeah.
once you show me it too many times that I can't. Fuck you gonna
Yeah.
do, bro? Like what you gonna do? Like really? Like what? Why would I come to you for any advice or any kind of help when over and over again you can't even take care of your own business?
That
Yeah,
part.
you had the moment where you say, Emmett's always getting into shit, but he always does a good job of getting himself out of it. That's cool, but you still always playing from behind. You still always playing catch up. Like
Yeah.
you're never on offense. You always on defense, my nigga. So I don't
Mhm.
want a nigga that's always skating backwards to help me out when I'm trying to get the upper hand on the nigga. Like
For
this nigga
sure.
got the drop on me.
For
Like he's
sure.
already And if it was that serious, I'd have told him straight out, hey, the nigga, like you said, Rachel, the nigga that you hired, that nigga's after me, bro. Get
Yeah.
rid of this nigga.
Yeah.
But you can't
Some
do that because our father is the one that asked you to get the job. So it's all fucked up. The whole family dynamic is fucked up. Whatever. I don't think anybody knows about the whole shakedown for the money part.
they don't.
Yes, and that's the part where I mean, I'm hitting Jackie Long with the SMD and get the fuck out
Period.
of my face.
Period.
Like that's what it comes down to. If we need to fight, we need to fight. Like it's whatever. We
Yeah.
can do that. But you ain't about to just. I'm not even. I don't take you serious enough. But in that same vein, we see what happened to somebody who tried to hit somebody with the SMD and walk away, and what happened to them this episode. But before we get there, let's go back to Duda.
Let's go.
Duda, it's getting ridden
Mhm.
by Bianca.
Mhm.
Ready to go on about his business when he hears the click clack. Alicia is in the bar, similar to 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago,
Mhm.
when she had the drop on him. Now, I think we said it at that time. Still very odd that you broke in and didn't shoot him then.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity. I don't know what you were trying to keep him around for. Whatever. Did that happen before Alonzo died?
No, it was after.
It was after? Okay, I couldn't remember.
Mhm.
All right, either way. Alicia comes in. Duda really is not barring her. Doesn't think she has the heart to do it.
Mhm.
You ain't about that life. Any last words? Fuck you. He's not taking her serious at all. We hear the gun, but it is not Alicia who pulled the trigger. Rachel,
It's
it's
Big
your nigga.
Daddy. So one thing about a daddy is he gonna step every time.
Nuck said that's my boss. I know where he is at all times.
Yeah.
Nuck is the one that gets the kill and the drop on Duda,
Mhm.
setting up Nuck to be the man when he walks through.
Yeah.
Um, Here's something I didn't understand. I want to get your thoughts on this. Maybe I'm missing something. Nuck tells Bianca and Alicia there's a new sheriff in town.
Mhm.
Either we can work together or we can be enemies.
Yeah.
Why was Alicia so mad? All right, maybe she's mad because she wanted to be the one to kill Duda, but why did she take it to the level of I'm gonna make it my business to be your worst nightmare? Like what's motivating you for that?
I didn't understand it at all.
Like, did I miss something? Like, why is you're making it your business? Like a personal goal of mine is to be your worst nightmare. Like, what did he do?
It didn't make sense other than extorting Rob.
Yeah, but that can be fixed. As she told Nuck, all deals can be renegotiated.
Right.
Bro, you just did me a favor.
She wanted to be the one to do the killing. It doesn't make sense. I didn't understand it either. I've not seriously tried to rationalize it. I've just chalked it up to what the fuck be going on in the shy. But it did not make sense. And thus, because of her ridiculousness, and Rob, I felt like his insolence was warranted. Like, nigga, I'm done with this shit. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about street dudes and street deals, you can't just be done because you done. Like, they have to
Right.
decide that the deal is over or you're no longer beneficial. You just don't get to make that decision. Which again, Rob is not about that life. He is not. I don't know nothing about that life. Shout out to Shekinah. He's unfamiliar, so he thought that walk away was just gonna be enough. If that nigga didn't kill you before because of the deal, why do you think that anything would be different this time? If the only reason I've not killed you is because I'm going to be extorting money from you, that doesn't change because Duda is dead. He's not a part of that deal. This is our own separate side deal.
I just killed the boogeyman. I'm powered up right now, my nigga.
That part.
Like I'm like literally, you can feel through the screen kind of the aura that Nuck
Yeah.
now had. Like I literally collected the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Like I am not. There is a new sheriff in town. Like
Yeah.
I'm not here to fuck around with none of y'all. Like I'd have got my ass whooped that one time, and that would be the last time.
Period.
Like that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment in I don't think you watched Sons of Anarchy
Nope.
on
I've
FX, right?
seen episodes, but I did not sit and watch it.
There's a moment in one of the episodes, later seasons of Son of Anarchy. These two dirty cops had
Mm-hmm.
fucked with the gangs, bikes, and all this other stuff. Really made Sam Crow's, who's a motorcycle club, life difficult. And Jax, the president, they catch up with these dirty cops, find their bikes, and find a bunch of other stolen bikes that they tried to chop these parts off of and all that. And as they, going through it, like let me tell you what time it is right now. Jax looks at both the cops, or he looks at one of them in particular, and says, "All right, I'm gonna need you to apologize to my crew for your actions today." And the cop looks like, "You got to be kidding me!" And this nigga drops that nigga, and he looks at the other cop and said, "Do you think I'm playing? Like, do you think I'm kidding?" That's how I felt watching Nuck move in these last few moments. Like,
Yeah.
nigga, you can think I'm playing if you want to. I am not joking. I'm not fucking around with you. Everything I say right now, you better take it as like honor, all of that. Like, I am not fucking with you. Rob said he was done. That nigga, hey, Nuck came in there and said, "You two report to me now." Speaking to Zay and Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Rob doing the, "I don't do none of this shit. I'm done. I don't take orders from nobody." Got shot the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because nigga, the games is over. I'm not playing with you, nigga. You can die and get left on your mama's doorsteps. Like, that's what type of time I'm on.
Yeah.
That's what type of time I'm on. So like, how you want to move? Like, I'm not giving you no chance. I'm not having speeches. We ain't doing none of this other shit. Like, nah, bro. Like, this is how I'm running Chicago now.
Period.
And he told Zay, "I am not playing." And then nigga Zay said, "I see.
See.
I see, my nigga. Okay, what you need?" What do you think about when Nuck pulled up to get the car?
I knew that he would. It's blood in, blood out.
Did you think Bakari was going to go?
I knew that he would. I knew that he would. As much as growth, dare I say, as we've seen from Bakari, as much as we've seen him want to get out of the life. And shout out to Lene. It's either you or it's either them or me. Being a young girl, baby, it's not gonna be you. Unfortunately, that's a hard lesson that some of us have to learn.
And it's never gonna be you. Sorry.
It's not gonna be you. Despite you trying to introducing him to Professor Gardner, despite you helping him with the book, offering him somewhere to stay besides Papa's house where he can sleep in the bed and not on a couch or floor. When that life is ingrained in you, it's much harder to get out. And I'm thinking about the conversation that Bakari had with Nuck previously about wanting to be on top. And Nuck kind of says sometimes, you don't always get what you want. Things just don't go the way that you always anticipate them. And sometimes you just have to let shit go. Now, however many episodes later, here we are. I am the man on top. Nuck never really mistreated Bakari. Duda was the one, Right. I might have felt some kind of way. I might have been jealous that he was investing a certain amount of time and energy into you. But the reality is that I know that you're a good quote unquote soldier. I know that you ain't scary. I know that you're loyal for the most part, He, like Bakari, or Bakari, like Nuck, just wanted something for himself, which is the book, which is this. Nuck wanted this Rob and Tiff money, something for himself, not out of the palms of Duda's hand, So I think there's an element of respect there, but I knew that Bakari would go.
So Bakari is number 2 now?
Probably.
He told Zay to get in the back seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sit your motherfucking crybaby ass in the back. These little kids got more heart than you.
Exactly. And again, I wonder if Duda knew that Zay met with Alicia. I could only assume that Nuck, who had been number two, knows that Zay was meeting with Alicia.
Yeah, I would imagine so. However, it is interesting. There's a little bit of benefit of Bakari being your number two is he's so young and you can mold him into
Mm-hmm.
your complete ideology
Mm-hmm.
of how you want to run this thing. And by nature, Bakari's a loyal person. He's still
Yeah.
young enough to where he doesn't have any big enough dreams on his own. Whereas Zay, we know he's taking meetings. We got Kenya in the picture. He sees
Yeah.
some things for himself that he wants to accomplish. I can understand. You might make the argument that it might make sense. The famous saying, "Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer." Not saying Zay is an enemy, but you are someone that I really need to have
An eye
keep my
on.
eye on. In
Mm-hmm.
the other sense, going back to the Bakari angle and the benefits of him, Zay, you should be on a need to know basis. I don't want you knowing everything because I don't want you setting up something
Exactly.
where you got the drop on me because you know my every single move, and now I'm
Mhm.
walking into some shit because you knew what was going on. So
Yeah.
how about we keep you on the outskirts at arm's length? Yes, we can
Yep.
keep you around because you still are a vital component to this. But don't get it twisted, my nigga. There's always some internal war, and I might know that once Duda did what he did,
Mm-hmm.
as far as our tussle, I knew he asked you to be his number two.
Yeah.
Like I know you was closer to Duda. Like nigga, I'm taking all this shit over. I just want you to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And obviously, shooting Rob in front of him was a very clear message. Like
Kinda.
this can be
For
you as
sure.
well. Like I will shoot you dead right here.
Anybody can get it.
I will leave you where I find you, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
straight up, I will leave you where I find you. And that's just what it comes down to. We talked about the. I wonder if Bakari vomiting. I wonder if that leads to any DNA. I don't know. I just think about that, but I don't know if you can find DNA through that. I don't know if they can trace that. Um,
No, no.
it just seems. I don't know, man. The show just isn't that good enough. I don't think the show's smart enough, and I say that respectfully. But I also have to just be honest about what you've given us recently. I don't know if the show's smart enough to where they do something like that on purpose. I think
Yeah.
it was literally just to show Bakari's frame of mind and where he is. Like he was on his way out, writing his book, his manuscript, and now he's pulled back in.
Yeah.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me right back in. Shout out to Godfather 3. But yeah, I think that was more so for that. And obviously, we see Alicia pulling up. What the fuck is that on my doorstep? What's that on my stoop? And then
Mhm.
obviously your son, heart wrenching, gut wrenching.
Yeah.
Um, Tiff doesn't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because Tiff was inside talking to Keisha. She was smoking on that Duda pack.
Yeah.
And she had mentioned how, like, this has been a crazy Thanksgiving. I can't take no more surprises.
Mm.
And then a couple scenes later, obviously her dude, after she just got finished telling Keisha, like, I've got a good man. I
Yeah.
like you and Emmett together. I'm happy for you in regards to the pregnancy. All of that is being taken away from her. Um, so yeah, it's obviously going to lead into season 7, and we have a nice chain of events. Um, rest in peace to Rob.
Rest in peace to Rob. I
Rest in
was
peace.
very sad to see him go. I actually would have liked to see Iman Shumpert carry this character through the end.
Sen. I would have liked to see that as well. Rest in peace to Otis Duda Perry.
Yes.
Gotta acknowledge him. And Rachel, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the episode before I make another, I guess, statement?
I wanted to. We didn't really talk about it. Nuck immediately after getting all his ducks in a row
Mm,
shows up on Emmett and Keisha's door in the middle of the night,
yeah.
demanding to see his child, which is what
Mm-hmm.
fathers be doing. And given you said that Nuck is charged up, as to which he was, there was nothing Emmett could have done in that moment to actually prevent Nuck from seeing Ronnie.
Yeah,
He would
he could have got his ass whooped.
that part.
Yeah.
That part. He could and would have 1000% went through Keisha and Emmett ass to get to his baby. Um And I'm assuming that after taking a life, it probably or taking two lives in such a short span of time, it probably does make you appreciate uh the life that is around you, especially your own progeny. Here's the interesting thing though, or maybe it's not even really interesting, but Nuck really does love Ronnie.
Absolutely, 100%.
He's truly embraced this fatherhood role. He doesn't know all the ins and outs. We don't know what his familial situation was. We see him actively trying to make up for lost time.
Hmm.
You said it earlier. He did something that Emmett is incapable of. Once Keisha pretty much confirmed it was you're the one who killed Duda, the man you probably, I'm assuming you know, but maybe you don't. The same nigga that just blew my car up, whereas me and our baby could have been in there. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, and maybe that was the driving force because you knew that Dimit that Duda had this car wired for bombing. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that that's the car that your specific child rides in, maybe it was less about the ass whooping and more about that particular thing. Like, nigga, you tried to kill my baby. All
Yep.
bets are off. I can't even fuck with you. I can't even pretend that I'm not mad about this ass whooping or losing this side ride money. Nigga, no. You tried to kill my baby.
Right.
From the way that we've seen Nuck step up as a father. Um,
Why? Why do you think that he put the body on her doorstep?
because we enemies. That's what you made it. You're gonna do your best to destroy me, enemy. This how the game go. You ain't
And
really
I,
enemies.
you know what? You're 100% right, and I know that. I
Mm-hmm.
guess for me, it goes back to that original point I made of I don't understand why Alicia took it there,
It didn't make
and
sense.
I guess I didn't. And I've been saying it all episodes, so I don't know why I'm pivoting right now. Nuck is not fucking around with none of y'all niggas. If that's what you say, it's up then. Like I'm telling you right now, like this is the
That's
one
it.
moment. This is our one conversation we're ever gonna have
Yep.
on a neutral ground. And I'm
Yep.
letting you know right now, we can work together or we can not. I don't work with you. Not only do I not work for you, I'm gonna make it my mission to make your life miserable. Say less.
Mhm. Yep.
Because I didn't even, and damn, that kind of really shows you where Nuck is. And the reason I guess I thought that was because it's not like he hunted down Rob. Like that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't his goal. That's just what happened because Rob
Yeah.
fell out of line. And that's even more diabolical that I didn't even plan to do this, but now that I did, let me put this right in front of your face and let you know what time
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
Sheesh. I can't fucking around, bro. Yeah, and
The
Emmett
game
had
is
nothing.
mm-hmm.
The game is a game. It's either play it or get played.
Get played. And so now
Um,
I'm very curious to what next season looks like because I believe I still think Keisha low key gonna want Nuck. You done killed this
listen,
nigga. The
listen, Rachel,
biggest thing is protection. You can protect me.
Rachel,
Yes.
Keisha started off the episode in the bathroom with Emmett,
Mm-hmm.
debating on whether or not they should have this child because we
She should
almost
get
got
that bean,
blown up.
baby. Mm-hmm.
If Ronnie didn't have to go to the bathroom, we would have been in that car. We would have been up out of here,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm so nervous and so unsure of your ability to protect us that I don't even know if I want to bring a life in with
Mm-hmm.
you. Nut said, I killed this nigga. That's the only way to keep y'all safe. Come on in.
Come on, Big Daddy. What you want? Some pancakes? You want me to heat up this sweet potato pie? I got some ham, chicken, collard greens,
I got
dressing.
leftovers from
Cheese.
Thanksgiving,
What you want? Did you
all of
eat?
this.
Did you eat yet?
And it's crazy because I just thought about this, Rachel. Nuck was at Alicia's house. He was with Rob and Alicia.
Come
Because
on.
remember, even though we didn't, I don't think we saw him on camera. Yes, we did because he had the great suit on. Hey, Nuck was out here looking fly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
because the moms had the conversation of, I thought Emmett
Everybody.
was Ronnie's father. Nah,
Uh-huh.
everybody, yeah. Um, that's even more wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's even more wild. Wow. Okay. Um, yeah, Emmett, man, I'm sorry, my man. You just gotta let whatever's about to happen.
You gotta let it go.
Yeah, bro. You
Looks
about
like
to.
another love TKO. He gotta go. It's nothing you can do for me. My nigga is home.
Emmett about to be on some cuck shit.
Yeah, yeah. Or Keisha ain't about to have that baby. Nigga, the big stepper is back. Are you fucking kidding me?
And I took care of your main problem. The one problem that had you losing sleep, I took care of.
I took care of it. And you see me being coming in being a dad. One thing I'll tell you, as somebody who has dealt ugh, with niggas with kids, um, seeing a man like be a father, be an active father, that shit is erotic. That shit is so beautiful. And you already got some feelings, some remnants of love for this person.
The love
You
is there. What type of love? Yeah.
you've shown up and stepped up for our child in ways that I could not have anticipated. Clearly, I know that you still feel some kind of way about me. I might get to batting them eyelashes. You done slayed the dragon for me and our family, our baby, while my nigga is running scared, while my nigga is the reason that we in this bullshit in the first place. I mean, Keisha is also culpable, but I'm off that.
Yeah.
Nuck is getting some draws.
I was
If
just about to say, Rachel,
nothing else. If nothing
I,
else.
it would be very unrealistic if nothing didn't hit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's just what it is. I get it. And this is coming from a nigga that fuck with it. But
Yeah.
also, I've lived enough life to know, like, nigga, that shit, that niggas.
That's Big Daddy. Are you fucking kidding me? And Nuck got a little, he walking a little taller, chest out, head a little higher.
To, to quote Jay Z, you share that girl.
Yeah. It is
Why
what it
you
is.
home alone? Why you home alone watching out with me? Room 112 hotel balcony.
Come on. Shout out to that. Shout
She,
out to Nuck.
she told Nuck, you can call the house for me. There's no respect at all. You better check it, dog.
Come on. Come on in. Come on in the house
Oh,
in the wee
yeah. The way
hours.
it was the look on that face. It was the come on in. It was that sense of like you did that for me.
For me, here you go. You did that one for
Season
me.
seven.
Like,
Season 7 better have a cold open. A Nuck hitting
for
Keisha.
sure. For sure. For sure.
Um,
Bless that.
anything else that we missed, Rachel?
I got nothing else. R.I.P.
All right.
Rob.
So
It was good to
R.I.P.
see
Rob.
Fatima ass back.
Good to see
Poor Paul.
Jada.
Good to see Jada. Good to see Jada and
Dar, Dar,
Tracy.
yeah, and Tracy. Darnell threatening Jada with more kids. Are there any more of your kids we need to bond with? You could hear the Rachel frustration in her voice. Like,
Listen,
how many more of these little niggas we gotta get to know?
listen. Bless that. Bless that.
Um, well, Rachel,
Yeah.
we gave our proper rest in pieces to Rob and to Duda, Otis Duda Perry. We're gonna have a we got y'all first, Rachel. This is a first time ever, and we got y'all history. I don't want to say it's an official announcement, but Rachel and myself were discussing very briefly about the finale, best episode they had this season.
Uh-huh.
It did just enough
Mm-hmm.
to make us want to watch season 7.
Yeah.
Like there was enough that happened to say, all right, damn, I got to see what happens after this. However, once again, y'all, Rachel's in charge of all creative control. I'm her humble co-host and producer. But as far as what we talk about on We Got Y'all, that all comes down to Rachel. I don't want to speak for her, but I think it's safe to say that we probably won't be revisiting season 7, at least on an episodic stance. Would you think that's fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Likely.
I don't think we'll. I'm not saying it won't be discussed. Maybe in a brief 15-minute, hey, here's what we think about season 7. But I don't think we're going to do it episodically. So for the first time, We Got Y'all history, we are the ones retiring the show. Um, Normally, there have been shows that we've done that the networks or streaming platforms have canceled on us,
Yeah.
much to our dismay, to our disapproval. But this is the first one where I think we've said everything we need to say about the Shy.
Hmm.
I think we know what it is now. It's not really fun, even though we get these jokes off every week. Um, we are black, like black, black. We
It's
love to see black people. Exactly. We love to see black people winning.
hmm.
Get your money.
Yeah,
Everybody on the cast keep getting them checks. However, we really don't find any joy or pleasure out of dogging your work and your art every single
for
week. Like
sure.
I said, we got these jokes. We want to really find good and positive things to say, but I think it's something that we've just kind of outgrown
Hmm.
um, as far as where we are in life and what the Shy is giving us. I don't know if it realizes what it is yet. I think that's one of the reasons why I can digest a show like Power, like
Hmm.
Ghost.
Yeah.
They know what they are. They know that the shit they're doing is ridiculous. So they
Hmm.
lean into it and they make it look as cool as possible.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
this
it's not.
is also the final season.
Yeah, and this is also the final season. Like your story's been told. I don't know where it goes without Duda. We're not going to really be involved in that whole thing. We'll watch from a personal standpoint, but as far as we got y'all, I think it's safe to say we're going to go ahead and retire the Shy,
Hmm.
unless the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 7 are just phenomenal, which I can't
Yeah.
see happening. I think that's one we're just going to nip in the bud. So with that being said, um, we definitely appreciate everyone for tuning in to us week
For
in, week out to discuss it.
sure.
For the ones who love the Shy, the ones who are diehards, all due respect.
Yeah.
Keep watching, keep posting, keep tweeting, keep all of that. It's just something that I don't think we're going to find ourselves back into whenever
Yeah.
the shot comes back. Hopefully, like I said, they announced that this is the final season. Um, but we also have more television on the way.
For sure.
We are in the midst of House of the Dragon, which streams on Max.
Yes.
You can definitely stay subscribed to this feed so you can check out those episodes. Usually they release on Wednesdays.
Hmm.
And we will be talking about that for the next few weeks until that season's up. More television coming out. There's good television on right now that we plan on having a conversation about. Just a
Yeah.
brief conversation about what we're watching. Because there is a lot of good TV. Rachel's watching a lot of it. I'm watching some of it. I'm watching more TV right now than I probably watched in the past 10 years, as far as like
Hmm.
at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, Mostly it's movies and stuff. So I am excited about we got y'all, what we got going on. It was an interesting ride for the Shy.
Yeah.
It was great to always come here week in, week out with Rachel. But whenever things start feeling like a chore, I feel like we're not giving you what you really want.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the past month, I would say, of the Shy really felt like I'd rather be doing anything else on my Saturday morning than talking about the
Yeah.
show. Respectfully, just not for us. So that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Rachel, do you have any last thoughts or words on our coverage of the Shy?
No, shout out to everybody involved. We had fun ish. Um, Sometimes you got to know when to hold up and when to fold them. Thank everybody for listening to us get out here. Even despite everything that you just said, Kyron, we still every week came in with over an hour's worth of dialogue about
Mm-hmm.
this show. So, with all that being said, thank you all for listening. I'm looking forward to sharing with you all and continuing to grow. And if you have any show ideas or you want to hear our thoughts, by all means, jump in the comments, send us an email. We got y'all pod@gmail.com. The Instagram at we got y'all. Is it we got y'all pod or we got y'all?
We got y'all pod.
We got y'all pod, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So follow us, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for listening. We're looking forward to talking more TV with you in the very, very, very near future.
Absolutely. Once again, stay subscribed to this feed. House of the Dragon is active right now, so you will still be getting updates. Like I said, we will be having conversations about other shows that are on: Presumed Innocent, Black Matter or Dark Matter, uh, The Bear. Like I said, it won't be episodically, but we will be having a conversation just about what we thought. And the mid-season finale of Ghost is coming up this Friday, so it might be a perfect time for us to have a conversation about some of the shows. I know Rachel's watching The Big Cigar. Just a lot of good TV, as I mentioned. You said what?
It's over. It was they
It's
did
over.
episodes. Yep.
Okay, got you. All right.
Mhm.
Well, Rachel, this isn't the end for We Got Y'all, even though it is the end for the Shy, as I just mentioned. Appreciate you. Looking forward to continuing and solely focusing on House of the Dragon. Um, if you haven't watched House of the Dragon, or you do watch and haven't listened to our coverage of it, you will hear the vast contrast of the excitement in our voices
For
when
sure.
it comes to it. It's just prestige television. It's just very well thought out, well written. Um, you know, and we enjoy all of it. But we're not gonna hold y'all. We appreciate y'all dearly. Thank you. Reach out to us for any shy thoughts. We'll be back this upcoming week with House of the Dragon. And don't forget about Culture Garden. You can find Rachel and myself there as well. Until then, we appreciate y'all. Be cool.
Peace out.